Umpires conferring about the light. It has certainly deteriorated, and the batsman will take it. Never any doubt about that, and that's the way it finished for the day. 1 for 1, Gooch OBW to Alderman without scoring, and those two young players, John Stephenson and Mike Atherton, yet to get off the mark. Just the no ball there in England's total in their first innings. Two bowlers used, Alderman 1 for 1, Lawson just 4 balls bowled. On this third day seem to me to be pretty much in favour of the pace bowling side. Australia already in the ascendancy there, 468, and England 1 for 1. A heavy atmosphere, good cloud cover, just the sort of thing Alderman and Lawson would like. Here's the last ball of Lawson's first over this morning, and he's bowling to John Stephenson wearing the white helmet. Stevenson's off the mark, and I can assure you that will be a great relief. 2 to Stephenson, and the end of Lawson's over. Well, atmosphere is heavy. The ball is new. Well, a belligerent stroke.
Good shot here by Stephenson. It wasn't an attempted real bouncer, I don't think, but it was certainly short.
Good shot. That's long chase from Merv Hughes. Easy 3 there. They'll have a look for a 4th. Once again, in that area, Hughes wasn't too sure of his footing.
Now, Stephenson got his feet again in a good position, didn't get the leg too far across to the offside, which allowed the bat to come through, and therefore was able to play that ball through mid-wicket. There's a couple of shots that already would have gone for 4 on the quicker outfield before the rain came yesterday.
It's a no ball, and it's gone to 4.
Well, it was good bowling by Terry Alderman. He knows they're trying to get him on the front foot. You can see the slight movement forward. Tries the bouncer. Mike Atherton, I'm sure, would have played the shot whether it was a no ball or not. I don't think Jeff Lawson probably heard the call. He was trying to make the catch. The ball just escaped his grasp and through the legs and just reached the ropes.
It just looked as though Merv Hughes might come on at this end, and then Alderman and Lawson may share the Vauxhall end. Never know if that's because Merv's coming on to bowl or because he just wants to get his muscles working.
First bowling change, Merv Hughes. That's a nice shot. And even on the slower outfield, that'll be 4.
And it's been not very easy for him this morning, but they've coped very well up to now.
269 England need to avoid the follow-on. Oh, has drawn him into it and got him. Caught behind. Full length half volley. Might just have gone a touch, but very wide, and that's the end of Atherton. Caught at the wicket off Hughes for 12, and England 28 for 2.
Yes, a little bit disappointing. This very, very wide. And you can see the foot going into the position second time. That's where it should have been to begin with.
New batsman Robin Smith. What a great series he's having. First ball for Robin Smith. There he goes. Taking up where he left off at Trent Bridge. And Trent Bridge, he took off where he left off in earlier games. What a marvellous start.
A great shot, this. He's such a magnificent square cutter.
That's Hughes' answer. And this little battle started at Lord's, I remember. Robin Smith has established himself as England's premier batsman in this series. Three in a row, and that's a no ball. In fact, he's had a warning, 3 in a row. Hughes is not going to think much of that. Neither's Border, with Dickie Bird speaking to him. Alan Border's pointing something out. And Dickie's had his say. One more. Nine off the over.
And another good shot. Smith hitting that front foot right to the pitch of the ball. Super stroke.
Now Jeff Lawson following Alderman on at the Vauxhall end.
Oh dear, they all go over. Wet ball or dry ball, I'm afraid. Demolition of Robin Smith's stumps by Jeff Lawson, and England's third wicket goes down.
Well, there's not much doubt about this. It's just a good length ball, and Robin Smith playing all round it, not really getting forward or back.
3 slips and those 2 gullies for David Gower, but also the fine leg slip. That's well played. And the applause is for the 50 coming up, but for the loss of 3 wickets, and that's a poor start by England. Well, that's beautifully played by Gower. The margin between his brilliance and his vulnerability is so tiny. Well, he's listening to Ray Illingworth because that's gone through the wicket. This beautiful shot. It was there for it, but it's so effortless.
Yes, this time he stood on the line a bit, didn't fall over quite too much, and therefore you get the ball in front of square. And that's a reasonably safe shot.
That got him in trouble. This is one of Hughes' great attributes. Suddenly from nowhere, on even a docile pitch, he can have the batsman heading for the trenches.
Yes, a very good delivery, this. The problem is that the ball follows you from there, and it's a nasty delivery.
Laurie Brown with him. There appears to be a swelling on the arm. And it was a delivery which really got him in all sorts of trouble. In it went, and the height and angle got him in no man's land. And that's where it took him on that forearm. Wanted to go forward, in the end was airborne. Oh, he's out. Out, didn't get across. Useful delivery anyway, snapped up, and Stephenson goes. Hit on the arm and unsettled the previous over. That's the end of a determined effort from the Essex man, out for 25. And England 80 for 4.
Good piece of bowling this by Terry Alderman. Bangs it in, a little bit shorter, a little bit more effort, and Stephenson not quite behind it, and perfectly picked up there by Steve Waugh at second slip. But, John Stephenson played pretty well this morning. He'd be disappointed at getting out at that stage, but he certainly showed that he's got a little bit of talent, and I thought he played extremely well.
That's 4 runs.
A nice start for David Capel, and it's nice to see a genuine leg glance being played properly. Just a little roll of the wrists, and these days the long leg is so square that if you just let that ball come onto the bat, turn the wrists, it's 4 runs every time.
Well, that's close, and it's too close for Capel. Alderman strikes. Took him just 3 deliveries. Yielded a 4, a bouncer, a full-length delivery. Capel LBW for 4, and England now in all sorts of trouble, 84 for 5.
Well, that's the thing we've been talking about all summer. The front foot going fractionally on the wrong line. He didn't go across with the bat, but because the leg was there, you couldn't quite get the bat to the ball. Pitching round about middle and hitting round about the same spot. And so disappointment there for David Capel. He's been desperate to get back in this side. And you see that's round about middle and hitting round about middle. No problems for the umpire there. And David Capel not going across the line with the bat, but he just couldn't get at it because the leg was on the line of the ball.
New batsman Jack Russell, and really England now have had a poor morning. They've lost 4 wickets. Last over before lunch. There goes Russell. The sort of shot that he's got used to playing in this series. And that's him off the mark with 4.
Well, he's just gone from strength to strength, Jack Russell. As I say, didn't bat particularly well at Headingley in that first match, but he has improved as the series has gone on.
Yes, Jack Russell's been one of the few success stories for England so far in this series. There were 2 more balls bowled up to the luncheon interval. No change in the score, 89 for 5. David Gower, 23 not out. I thought Stephenson and Atherton both shaped quite well this morning, but in the end they fell to Alderman and Hughes. Good deliveries there from both those bowlers, and it was a splendid effort from the Australian pacemen. Only 3 of them used up to lunch. Alderman 8 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 20. Lawson 9 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 29. And that vital wicket to Geoffrey Lawson. And Merv Hughes 9 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 37. Australia 468, England 89 for 5, 379 runs behind. We join play after lunch now in the second over. There's no addition to the score. Geoff Lawson is the bowler, and he's bowling at the left-hander Jack Russell. 4 runs there for Jack Russell, and well bowled by Geoffrey Lawson, just leaving the left-hander off the seam.
Yes, it was quite a safe shot, that. He got well forward there, Jack Russell, and controlled the ball. It went down on the floor through this slip area.
Here's the destroyer, Terry Alderman. He had 3 for 20 at lunch. Now he's bowling to David Gower. bowled. Very well bowled by Alderman. He has 4 now. He picked up a wicket early on. Stephenson caught it slip. Then he had Capel LBW. Now he's had Russell caught behind. That is splendid medium pace bowling.
Yes, that didn't really swing in. It just bounced a little extra. Russ like to play at that because certainly Alderman's been bringing the ball enough from there to hit the stumps. It was a very good line. It was only just outside that off stump. Russ like to play. A little bit of extra bounce. And the keeper there does the rest. That's a tremendous piece of bowling by Alderman again.
98 for 6 now, and David Gower is on 24. New batsman is Derek Pringle. A nice shot from Derek Pringle, straight through the vacant mid-off area.
Up for England, 101 for 6.
There's another beautiful delivery, which fortunately for Pringle didn't carry. Another perfect example of Alderman's work.
The deceptive thing is that Terry Alderman walks back as though he's dying on his feet. Lovely little edge there, not quite carrying to Healy, diving to the right.
That's vintage Gower. A long chase and a slow outfield. But the ball wins. Fourth 4 for David Gower.
Superb shot this. David Gower once again just dropping that shoulder where he's injured, but timing that beautifully.
6 minutes were lost because of rain in this afternoon session, and the umpires have deducted 11 overs from the 90 in the day. Lawson to Pringle.
Really sort of a nothing shot. And Derek Pringle very lucky to get away with that. Bounced over the off stump.
Been a long, hard summer. Not made any easier by this morning's collapse. There's some excellent bowling out there by the Australians in that first session of play. England began 1 wicket down. That was Graham Gooch yesterday. Jeff Lawson is the bowler from the pavilion end. Gower is taking strike.
At the light, just about good enough for David Gower to pull that one like a rocket through mid-wicket.
It's outside off stump, but David Gower has the range to play that stroke. And you heard the crack as it came off the middle of the bat. Well, that's Crystal Palace, the beacon in the distance, and you can see how murky it is here at the Oval. You see that stops up, and that's just one. That would certainly have been 2 runs on the first 2 days. Well, you gather from the booze that the umpires have interceded.
Not only did bad light take the players from the field then, but the ground was hit by a rain squall shortly after, and eventually play was abandoned for the day by umpires Bird and Palmer. With the score at 124 for 6, David Gower 43 not out, some lovely strokes in that knock. Derek Pringle 6 not out, having been put down by Ian Healy at the wicket. Still to come, Eagleston, Small and Cook. The bowling figures for Australia, just the 3 bowlers used today. Alderman dominating proceedings. Tremendous performance from him once again. 14 overs, 2 maidens, 4 for 34. Jeff Lawson 1 for 50 from 15, the vital wicket of Robin Smith, and Merv Hughes 1 for 37 from 9. So the match situation at the end of the third day of this Cornhill Test match shows Australia 468, England 124 for 6, 344 runs behind, and still a long way from saving the follow-on. The taking, even though the conditions are